Monday, March 11th at 2013 at 5:30 at the town office. First order of business will be the minutes.
Move to accept as presented.
We have a motion
Second.
and a second. Any discussion on the minutes? This is from February 25th. Not all in favor? Okay, that's 5, 4, 4, 4, 3 missing. So they passed. All right, next item is the warrants. We'll start with you, Greg.
Stu, I just had one question on page 4. That's an item I don't recognize. Right at the top, PM service, VFDs. It's all initials and acronyms. So
Yeah, variable frequency drives. That's both in the water fund. I'm guessing at pump maintenance service. 2 pump houses, most likely.
that's all I had. Thank you.
Jason?
No.
Sharon?
Just on page 5, just the salt bill, is that the last of the salt for the year?
Probably not.
Really?
Well, there may be other invoices in process.
Okay,
And it really depends on what the weather holds for us.
okay, thank you.
On page 7, I guess I just haven't seen this one before. Petty cash for stamps. I thought we had a machine.
We do, but there are other departments that may use petty cash when they've got something they've got to get out, rather than get it here and run it through the postage meter.
Okay.
They'll use petty cash, they'll get a receipt and get reimbursed.
Okay, on the same page, Mount Anthony's education tax. This is our, second payment to them?
Yes.
And we have how many more?
This should be the last.
This should be the last, okay.
Although we have until March 15th to finalize everything we bring in and send it to them, but I think normally this would be the last one.
Okay, that's all I have on the warrants. Okay, next, there's no citizens here on the agenda, okay. Town Health Officer appointment. Want to start that, Stuart?
Yeah, this is the appointment of Larry McLeod to continue his work as the health officer. He is seeking another 3-year term. It does require an action by this board, and Joe, your signature, if the board appoints him, your signature would be on the signature line.
I move we accept Larry McLeod as health officer for another, is this a year?
Okay, has a
I'll
motion?
second it.
No, second. Any discussion? I do. I don't quite understand, or maybe I'm not reading it right, but the letter we got from the Department of Health, Lori Cragen,
Mm-hmm.
am I missing something in this? I guess my question is, why did we even get this letter?
Because we have to appoint them.
She doesn't know we.
It's just expiration of term, right?
Yeah,
We have to alert the Department of Health who
Yeah, we have to let
That's
them
right.
know who.
Okay, that's all that is?
Yeah.
That's all it is.
All right, so I got a motion, a second, discussion's over, all in favor? That's 4 in favor, 3 not here.
I'll have you sign this, Joe, at the end.
Okay. And liquor licenses,
Yeah, these are all basically renewals. I don't think we have anything new to present to you at this time.
okay.
And we can sign those. We'll just look at it.
Before Jimsy's in, that's a bed and breakfast now, is that what that is?
Yeah, it has been.
It has been for a while, but they're not open for.
Yes.
Yeah,
They
it's a
have
fine
a-
dining
they have a
restaurant.
restaurant.
Is it open year round?
Yes.
Okay.
Sounds like we need to go.
Well, I have somebody who keeps asking me they wanna go, and I said it's not open except for fall, so.
Tell Peter.
Whoops.
Don't let them find
Don't
out
wanna
about
find
that.
out about it. Okay, manager's report.
Yes, I've just got 2 action items. The first is the Morgan Spring Emergency Generator. We did get together, I shouldn't say we did, but Terry Morris got together with Norm LeBlanc, who has the connection to the military. They checked military sites, as I told you here in the memorandum, Vermont, Maine, Massachusetts, New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania, and found nothing available that would meet our needs. I mean, there were some generators available, they were too small for what we need. So so I'm back to you folks saying, we would really prefer to move on this, replace that generator before it does fail, and we find ourselves in a difficult situation.
How many other generators do we have?
Oh, God. Police department, town offices, wastewater, and we have, I think, a portable one at wastewater. I think water department probably has a small portable one as well, that they can move around to various pump stations. And I'm gonna say, I think that's it.
Are any of those of the caliber that would be allowed to fill in, and if so, not that it's a permanent fix, would that allow us more time to try to find either a better deal or other surplus generators?
That's a good, I don't know, Jason. The ones at the PD, the town offices, at the water filtration plant, those are all fixed. They're not portable. And I don't think our portables would be large enough to use at Morgan Spring. So,
Do we know if it's, do we know or do we think? And I'm not trying to
Well,
call you out, but I'm, 42,000 isn't pocket change.
no, it's not. No, it's not. And yeah, I didn't bring that with me, but we're looking for sufficient power to push two 50 kilowatt pumps, I believe it is. And I'm guessing at the size of the pumps, but
Well, they're gonna require a minimum of 30 amps to get them out there, and to run a pump that size.
I mean, we have the power to the source. One of the problems we have with the rebuilt generators is that they sometimes don't put out the power they were originally rated for because they've been used and they're old, and even though you can repair them.
Kind of like us, the little older we get, one point without power.
Yeah, well, we'll be talking about repairs and
Parts wear out.
yeah, parts are good.
Well, I mean, the concern, I have no doubt that we need this, and I have faith in Terry that he'll find the best deal he can. Obviously, if we can buy in time, it gives him a chance, when you buy under duress, obviously, you have to get what's out there, so, I mean, I'd be willing to give him the nod to say, well, if it's gotta be 42, it's gotta be 42, but if you can find a way around to make us safe and shop it around a little longer, but I tend to think that if he needs his generator, we're probably gonna need the other ones at the same time,
That's potentially a problem.
so, swapping them around may not take care of it if the town loses power everywhere, if everybody needs those generators. But, I mean, I think we've seen his due diligence in finding value in what he gets. It's just a matter of, how much time do we wanna
Well,
wait to fill this?
He's put in there, it's an
Yeah.
estimate, okay? And
Yeah.
Terry will shop around, I'm sure, and get the best deal he can for what he needs.
I'm sure he will.
My concern's the timing, and the timing, guys, we're getting a lot of snowfall up there, we could get a big runoff, we get early spring, we don't know what the hell is gonna happen when the water comes off of Woodford. We think we fixed the branch, we hope we did. We've learned that Morgan Springs, from the last area at the time, is a very critical operation. We've gotta have water to get to different places, so I'm inclined to let Terry go ahead and go at this point in time to do so.
Yeah, so am I.
I'd make a motion to empower him to make that expenditure as he sees.
Thank you.
Okay.
I'll second.
Any more discussion? All in favor?
I
Go
have
ahead,
one,
Jason.
just little piece of discussion. It perplexes me because we've had the discussion over the last 6 to 8 months about how reserves build up out of the depreciation budget. 42,000 is 20% of that reserve. I would just like to see a few more answers to what's available with what we've got, or what else we could have before we, I don't wanna say blithely spend $42,000, because that's not fair nor accurate, but it just, I'm not gonna vote for it, it's too much.
Okay.
I think it's a lot of money, and it could have been a little better researched on short notice.
You've got a motion and a second. All in favor? It's 3, 1 opposed. All opposed, 1. Okay.
we can't act.
We can't
Right,
act,
you
we
need a
don't have.
majority of the board.
We need
right?
a majority of the
Yeah.
board. So we'll continue our
Yep.
search, and I'll be back to you again in perhaps at the next meeting in March.
Okay, anything else?
The ladder truck repairs, this came out of the blue. We were having our ladder truck recertified and determined that the outriggers are substantially damaged, not because of misuse or anything, but simply wear and tear. And without the repairs necessary, we can't put the truck in service. So it is estimated at $18,875. That is an estimate that you can rely on. The people were here. We would have to drive the truck to Connecticut for the repairs to be done. So it's going to be out of service for a period of time anyway. And the department has asked if they could use reserves to make these repairs.
Okay, discussion? I asked Stuart the other day when this came up, we've had some discussion about replacing that at some point in time when it reaches its 20 years, I guess.
Well, it's more than 20 years now.
Took a
Well,
couple of- it was
whatever
the-
what this, what we planned on. Outriggers, obviously, and on a truck like this, that's the key, along with the ladder going up.
Right.
You can't put the outriggers up, you can't put the, or out, you can't put the ladder up. And,
I thought this was the truck that was scheduled for replacement in 2017.
Potentially, but we can't use it.
Right, no, I'm not
Yeah.
disputing that, but I'm
It
just
was
saying
on the
in terms of
budget, there
the-
wasn't
in
paid.
terms
We'll
of,
probably look
I
at,
thought I heard somebody say, we're not sure what we're gonna do with it, when we're gonna do it, but I thought this was
yes,
2017.
2017, 2018, depending on, finances and the condition of the truck. We're probably looking at moving to a boom rather than a ladder truck.
And we spent 19,000 now,
Yeah.
got it for another 3 years, we've got new outriggers on it.
we might even get more is what the point I was getting to, and, the critical thing. The firemen tell me that the boom test is being done on the ladder, so we know that's being done. You get the outriggers repaired. The only other thing is automotively, it seems to be pretty automotive sound.
Yeah,
Might be able to get a couple more years past 2017 before we have to make that thing based on these outriggers. So just my thought on that.
And we're putting money back into reserve
Yes,
this year anyway.
there's money in the budget to go back into the reserve, but we've already overspent the repair and maintenance budget this year, so we either overspend the budget, continue to overspend it, or we look to the reserves.
I think it makes more sense to look at the reserve account. So I move we authorize repairs to the ladder truck.
okay, well, motion,
I'll second.
we got a second, any further discussion? All in favor? That's 4-4 in favor, 3 not here. Okay, anything else, Stuart?
No, that's all I've got.
All right, other business, Greg,
No,
Jason,
Yeah, I may make the motion to reconsider the generator. Stu, how long would it take for us to get the generator? I mean, we're being told this is an estimate, we're being told Terry's gonna shop around, but if we approve the 42,000, is this gonna be ordered tomorrow? I mean, that's not an estimate, that's telling me the decision's been made and it's 42, now
I
it's up
think-
to 42.
Yeah, it's a relatively good estimate. Parts and labor to install it plus the cost of the generator. It might take a couple of weeks for it to be shipped. I don't know exactly where they're getting it from. But yes, it would be relatively quick.
Is ours working right now?
It works, yes. The concern would be for a long-term power outage. It probably wouldn't survive.
I'll tell you what my concern is, Jason.
Yeah.
I have friends down in Jersey, as you know.
Yeah.
In the last 2.5 years, they have had 4 catastrophic weather events that have taken towns out for 2 weeks and more.
Yeah.
We're heading into that season, when the weather changes and the thunderstorms come and whatnot, so. I mean, like I said, buying under duress, you don't get the best deal, but of course, if you wait till something happens, it costs you even more.
Well,
The scramble, so.
it doesn't sound to me like we're buying under duress, because
Right.
it sounds to me constructively anyway, the decision's already been made to buy a make and model that fully loaded is gonna be $42,000, so I don't think we're buying under duress. My concern is that this kinda came out of the blue, we got a surplus one before, we hadn't vetted that, as of 2 weeks ago as to whether or not we could get another surplus generator. It consumes 20% of that particular water fund reserve, and I still, and I guess I won't, because I won't be here in a few weeks, ever really got a satisfactory answer on the reload of reserve funds from the depreciation of the water budget. So that's why I'm concerned
I
about it.
understand.
But the concern would be too, if we had a catastrophic event, then there might not be a generator out there to even buy at that point.
Well, more than likely there would be, it's just, it would be, we would be, if the generator failed during a catastrophic event, we'd be down. System would be
What I'm
down.
saying is we're spending $42,000 tonight. Well, there's your fourth vote right there.
Doing other business, and she reconsidered.
Don't count me for anything, you know?
What I'm saying is what are the odds of in the next 2 to 3 weeks, we're really gonna have a catastrophic weather event? We're not in hurricane season, we're not in blizzard season, we're not in potentially perhaps a small flood, thunderstorms maybe. To just really see what else we can do for $42,000. Now, that being said, we now have a fifth member here. I will make a motion to reconsider that, the $42,000 expenditure. I still think we can wait to vet it a little bit more before we spend that much money, but I make a motion to reconsider the $42,000 for Morgan Spring. I think I'm the only one here that can make that motion because I voted against it. I'm gonna vote against it again, but this will give a fuller board a chance to act on it.
I'll second.
Take a second, okay, I'm gonna let Justin get into this conversation. We brought up the issue of purchasing the generator.
Right.
Stuart gave us the information that Terry and others had gone out and looked for a military surplus one, they couldn't find one that was suited with the capabilities that we need up here. Greg made the motion that we go ahead and allow the $42,000 coming out of the reserve to purchase it. Sharon seconded it, vote was 3 to 1, we didn't have a quorum, so it didn't pass. So that's why Jason's just made the motion to reconsider, and the motion's on the board, so any discussion you wanna weigh in on this?
Sure, I guess I would just kind of jump back into the discussion we had last time. What are our other options? I'm sorry I'm running late. I realize you guys probably got into this, but aside from what we're looking at here, $42,000.
Yeah, what we did is we got in touch with Norma Blank, that's how we acquired the generator we now have, through Norm, through military surplus. We looked in Vermont, Maine, Massachusetts, New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania, and could find nothing available. There were generators available, but they weren't of sufficient size and capacity to meet our needs. And Terry asked that I bring this back to you to see if in fact we could move forward.
Any other discussion?
I guess I'm, just trying to get up to date on what the other options are.
My thought was I'd still like to see it vetted to see what we can do rather than make, what I didn't like was the fact it was an out of the blue $42,000 use contingency fund, use reserve funds, not contingency funds, out of the blue 2 weeks ago. To me, that's just quite a request without really any forewarning, and at that time it was pretty clear that we hadn't looked at trying to replace it through the surplus program. We'd had it before, and I just look at it and think, do we need to spend $42,000 that quickly?
How often is this used, Stuart?
Well, it's there for emergency purposes. If the system goes down and we lose power, we can't run both pumps at Morgan Springs with the generator we have now. It worked during Irene, but it never put out as much power as it should have. And the concern now is that it's depreciated to the point where it will fail if run for an extended period of time.
Now, is this if something happens at Woolsbrook and we're trying to pull water out of Morgan Spring back into the system, is that the?
There's that situation, and there's the situation that in the evening time, those pumps run to refill the 3 million gallon tank on Chapel Road, which is our one-day supply of water. So every night those pumps come on, we pump water up the hill, refill the tank. If there was a power outage down in the village, we would not be able to do that. Or if the generator failed, we wouldn't be able to do that. So there are two concerns. One is the catastrophic event, where the system goes down, we have a major flood, we can't provide water to the community. And then there's the secondary, probably less of a concern, would be an inability to refill that tank and continue to give us that factor of safety.
So that generator works every day now?
No, the pumps work every day.
work every day.
So
The
then,
generator only works when the power's out.
When's the
Okay.
last time we used that generator?
Well, we tested on a regular basis, so I couldn't tell you, but it was within the last, I'd say the last month.
Now, when you're refilling that tank, we're not typically refilling all 3 million gallons.
Generally, I would say no. Probably somewhere from 50 to 75% of the capacity is refilled.
And I'm just thinking back to the catastrophic event scenario when we had our Irene. When we were pulling water out of Morgan Springs at a faster clip, wasn't that? And it wasn't even at one point that we were pulling water out so fast that our system couldn't even handle it. I mean, with that, could we put it into a larger generator where we couldn't even realistically put more water into the system at a faster pace?
Well, what hurt us during Irene is that the system, parts of the system were not capable of taking the pressures that were being generated by running both pumps at the same time. So we had to throttle back because we were blowing our pipes apart in some of the older parts of the system. We were trying to push that water up to the higher elevations.
Is this 42,000 gonna be recouped?
We were gonna budget 42,000 into the equipment reserve in the coming budget year, which Terry's working on now.
What's the preliminary on what the rates are going to do? Because we should be at the, I mean, that's,
I think-
like I said, I don't mean to beat a dead horse, but we've massively raised those rates.
I
3
think
years in a row. to
this year
account
the
for
projection
reserves.
was to raise the water fund 3%.
On top of what we've done the last 3 years? You talking about?
Well, the last, we were running at 11% increases each year to try to rebuild the reserves or the.
To account for depreciation.
Yes. We've made that, and a 3% increase this year will stabilize us. Now, I don't know what Terry's coming up with as far as other needs for the system, but, we're probably gonna be looking to try to at least level fund that budget with cost of living items, because it has gone up so dramatically over the last 3 years.
Any more discussion on the generator? You got a call for the vote, all in favor? That's 3, all opposed, 2 missing, so we still don't do it. Okay,
Don't you, if you've got a majority, do you need 4 or do you need a majority of the quorum?
Majority of the board.
Let me just say my thought real quick and why I voted no against this. It's currently working as of this second, right? I mean, we're at a point where we think it's gonna need to be replaced, but it's not necessarily right here tonight, right?
No, we're not at fail-safe.
Okay. The only reason I'm thinking about that is, to go out, is there a possibility to go out and try and bid for one of these generators and get a little bit better price than the 42,000 instead of us just going out in emergency mode trying to acquire it?
Well, I think the estimate we got is through a local electrician who with Terry went into the marketplace to see what we needed, what was the capacity, and to find the least expensive.
Right. I mean, I'm certainly not against replacing it. I understand at some point it's gonna need to happen. I just wanna make sure we're getting the absolute best price on it.
That's well said, I'm not again, we have to replace it, I wanna replace it correctly, and I'm not sure
We'll continue.
okay. Jason, Justin, other business, it's up to you.
No, I have nothing.
And really, there was nothing else other than bringing up the issue there.
I do have one handout here, and this is in a sense a response to a request Justin made for the entire delinquent grant list. grammar, tax polls. These are the properties that are currently scheduled for tax sale. As our attorney reaches out to these property holders and to their mortgage companies and to others, 2, 3, and 1 more. This will probably be decreased as we move through. And my question, Justin, to follow up on that is, the entire delinquent list, property list, is about 25 pages. Would you want us to try to send you that electronically, or would you want a hard copy of that?
I was, either way is fine. Really, I don't have a preference.
Okay.
Whatever works best for you.
I prefer to see it electronically, the amount of paper we can do.
Yeah, I mean, it's a ton, so, all right. That's the reason we don't have that tonight. Gee. Rolling in now. No,
No.
let's not do that, let's not beat that one.
Jim, it's up to you for other business.
Nothing.
Nothing.
We're in the same boat, Jim, don't worry.
Okay, the only thing I wanna do, this is being taped. I'll say it again at our next meeting. I wanna thank the voters for the confidence they had in the board and the town in preparation for the budget, putting it out there. This was a tough year for the budgets. I think the diligence we put into it as board members, and obviously the diligence that Stuart and staff did putting there, I think showed that the voters had confidence in what we did and the action we took. So for those 3 or 4 nights, we all spent, actually longer than that because you did a whole month on your own. I appreciate that from the board. And that's all I've got, so I'll take a motion to adjourn. Oh, wait, executive session.
Brief executive session, Mike is here to present
Okay.
something to you. We'd have to come out of executive session and vote on that,
All right,
if in fact you decide to take action.
I'll move we go to executive session.
okay,
Second.
just a second, discussion,